So what I remember about Lou was the first time we ever met. I had gotten a call into my manager's office when I was playing with Milwaukee and had been informed that I was being traded. And of course, I was pretty bummed out about that because I had come up pretty much through the minor league system with the Milwaukee Brewers, and all of my teammates, the guys that I'd come up with through the minor league system, were in the major leagues at that time. So I was going to be leaving some guys who I was really close with. But when I found out I was being traded to the Reds, which me being a California boy, the Reds were actually one of my favorite teams growing up. So it was kind of like a dream come true for me to be able to play for the Reds. One of my favorite players was George Foster, so it was a great experience for me. So when I found out I was being traded to the Reds, I just that was actually great. I was going from a team who was in last place to a team that was in first place. So then I get to the Reds, and I run into Eric Davis, and the first thing he says to me is "Welcome to the big leagues," and so that was kind of cool. But Lou calls me into his office, and this is kind of something that's kind of inside between the Reds. But at that time, when Paul O'Neill played for the Reds, he and Lou had a pretty tumultuous relationship, and Lou was always grinding on him, getting under his skin, and trying to push him to the next level. Lou called me into his office, and he said that the reason why they brought me here was because they wanted to have they didn't feel confident in O'Neill's ability to be able to hit left-handed pitching, and they needed me to come. They needed me to fill in that gap, and I felt like I did that job pretty well. But he said that he had asked for me personally, which I thought was pretty awesome because I was at the time platooning in Milwaukee, and although I wanted to be a starter, I felt like they had Greg Vaughn coming up and some other guys, and so they were kind of platooning me, and so I just felt like this was going to be more of the same. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking to myself, I'm going to come over here and bang it up a little bit so I can get the starting job. But it turns out that that was what Lou had in mind, and Lou. One of the great things about Lou is that he puts his players in the best position to succeed, and I think that that's a mark of a great manager. And Lou did that very, very well. Another story that I'll tell about Lou was one time, it was during another one of those losing streaks where Lou had a little blow up, but this time it was in the clubhouse. And we had just come off the field. We played well, but we lost another game. And after the game, there's always a good, nice spread in the clubhouse, maybe some ribs and some chicken or whatever it may be. And so Billy Hatcher, who was one of the outfielders on that team at that year, he actually was already in the clubhouse because he had come out of the game early. He was already in the spread room getting ready to get his food. And Lou came off the field storming. He was so upset with us. He came into the room where the spread was, and he said, "Nobody's going to eat today." He goes over to the table, he kicks it over, all the food just sprays all over the place. And Billy Hatcher is sitting over in the corner with his plate. And I kid you not, one big old drumstick that went up into the air flew all the way across the room and landed right on Hatcher's plate. And so, it was like, everybody was like looking at Hatch, and Hatch was like, "Hey, I guess he wants me to be the only one to eat." So Hatch grabbed the bone and just started grabbing and started eating it. But so that's just another kind of a crazy story, inside story with Lou. He just was, he's one of those guys. You never knew that when there was going to be a blow up, but I think, I honestly feel like there were times where they were calculated. I think that he would say to himself, I need to do something to get my team motivated. Not that he would just do it on a whim, but he would say, "I'm going to take the next opportunity and do it," because he just felt like that would be a good way to motivate his team. And to be honest with you, that kept the players on his toes, even though he knew you cared for him, but it kept you on your toes, and it made you want to go out and play even harder.